Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's episode of Morte D'Arthur. In fact, tonight's episode is so hot, so awesome, that I've blown both the light bulbs in our usual room. So for tonight, I'm doing this live from the couch. Very excited. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome, come in. Hello, come in, hello people, hello, who have we got here? Hello Kathy, hello Julia, hello Sarah, hello Tara, welcome guys, welcome. In typical nerd-like fashion, my iPad is being propped up against some Tolkien radio cassettes. So hello Queen, come in guys, come in, welcome. You are falling, you're falling, I'm falling, we're all falling. We seem to have been stabilised now though. We are up and running, we're working. Hello Queen, come in, welcome. This is actually much comfier as a chair to sit on. I'm not quite sure how. I feel like some kind of yoga master or sort of deep traditional storyteller sat here, book open in my lap, ready to chat to you all tonight. This is proper old school storytelling. I just need a big fire in front of me now to do this. But hello Medu, come in. Hello Adakan as well, welcome to tonight's very special, very hot, light exploding episode of Morte D'Arthur. Yes, it's propped up. I've got the he says, can I? There we go, my old Brian Sibley Lord of the Rings radio cassettes, which I grew up listening to. That's what we're propping up against tonight, because I've switched to the living room. So yes, Tolkien is propping me up, which I think is wonderful, marvellously. So as he was a big fan of Morte D'Arthur. To begin with, hello Percula, come in, welcome to tonight's show. You're very welcome indeed. I think switching locations put me in a particularly good mood. Yes, hello to the Kaliski sisters. They're saying hello to each other. That's what we like to see. You two already know each other clearly. I think I know just about everybody in the room tonight. So hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to tonight's episode of Morte D'Arthur. I think it's time for us to get into the show, don't you? And what better way to start than with a quick recap of where we got to after last night. So, we are telling the tale of Sir Tristram of Cornwall. Sir Tristram is my favourite knight in the whole of the wide world. Sir Tristram is a very able knight, but he's a bit of a ladies' man as well. Even though he takes his womenfolk for granted, he is the best knight possibly in all the realms, saving Sir Lancelot. And as a knight within the court of King Mark, has proved himself to be more noble, certainly in battle, than any other Cornish knight. However, it's his victories in the field of love that have brought the jealous attentions of his king, King Mark, rather than his victories on the battlefield. King Mark is furiously jealous over how successful Tristram is with the ladies. So much so that he has decided to try and send Tristram over to Ireland to bring back the Lady Isolde, daughter of King Anguish, as a bride for King Mark. In doing so, it's King Mark's plan that once Sir Tristram enters into Ireland, King Mark will have him assassinated. And yet, fortune has befallen upon Tristram. You see, even though Tristram was sent off on this quest, it so happens that Tristram has met the Lady Isolde before, and fallen madly in love with her. Yet still, out of servitude for his king, he agreed to go and bring her back as a wife for his liege lord. But blustering storms have blown Sir Tristram off course and sent him not to Ireland but back to England, to the land of Camelot. And there, in Camelot, he's discovered that King Anguish of Ireland has been brought to the court of King Arthur, accused of committing murder by... which Sir was it? It was by Sir Blamore de Gagny. Now, it just so happens that in medieval England, similar to the world of Game of Thrones, trial by combat was a fairly appropriate way. Hello, Noel, hello. Trial by combat was a fairly appropriate way to settle any such disputes. And so, King Anguish of Ireland asked Sir Tristram to defend him in battle against Sir Blamore de Gagny to prove his innocence. And of course, Sir Tristram, one of the greatest knights ever, defeated Sir Blamore de Gagny fair and square at the end of last night's episode. However, now we need to find what happens post this victory. For Sir Tristram has said to King Anguish of Ireland that if he won this battle, he would ask a reasonable request of the man who is father to the woman he loves most in all the world. What could that reasonable request be, ladies and gents? We'll find out. And hello, Noel, hello, Susan. Yes, we're in a casual setting this evening because I've blown the light bulbs upstairs. So I've retreated to the living room for tonight's show, so you can enjoy me on the couch. Hello, Susan, hello, welcome. You already know where we are with the story. Let's get into tonight's show. There, at the last, battling against Sir Blamore de Gagny, Sir Tristram did smite a buffet upon his helm, so great that he fell down upon his side, and Sir Tristram stood and beheld him. Then, when Sir Blamore de Gagny might speak, he said thus: Sir Tristram de Leon, I require thee, as you are a noble knight, and the best knight that ever I found, that you will slay me out, for I would not live to be made lord of all the earth. For I would rather die with worship than live with shame. And needs be, Sir Tristram, you must slay me, or else you shall never win the field again, for I will never say you a loath word. And therefore, if you do dare to slay me now. I require you. When Sir Tristram heard him say so knightly, he did not know what to do with him. He remembered to himself both parties, and of what blood this man had come. For this man was related to Sir Lancelot the Lake, and for Sir Lancelot's sake, Sir Tristram would be loath to slay him, and in the other party in no way he might choose, but that he must make him to say loathsome words against his honour, or else slay him. Then did Sir Tristram start aback, and he went to the kings that were the judges of the battle, and there he kneeled before them, and besought them for their wisdom, and for King Arthur's and Sir Lancelot's sake, that they would take this matter into their hands, and that they should decide what should be done with his defeated opponent. For my lords, said Sir Tristram, it was shame and pity that this noble knight that lieth yonder should be slain. For you hear well, shamed he will not be in his defeat, and I pray to God that he shall never be slain or shamed by me again. And as for the king for whom I fight for, I shall require him as I am his true champion and true knight in this field, that he should show mercy upon this good knight. So God help me, said King Anguish, I will for your sake, Sir Tristram, be ruled as you would have me, for I know that you are a true knight. Therefore I will heartily pray that the kings who are here as judges will take it in their hands. And the kings that were judges called Sir Blobris, the brother of Sir Blamore de Ganny, to them, and asked him for his advice. My lord, said Blobris, though my brother is beaten, and has the worst through might of arms, I dare say, though, that Sir Tristram has beaten his body, he has not beaten the man's heart. And I thank God that he is not shamed this day, and rather that he should be shamed. I required you, said Blobris, let Sir Tristram slay him now. It shall not be so, said the kings. For his part adversary, both the king and the champion shall have pity of Sir Blamore's knighthood. My lords, said Blobris, I will right well as you will. And then the kings called the King of Ireland, and found him to be goodly and treatable. And then by all their advices Sir Tristram and Sir Blobris took up Sir Blamore, and the two brethren were accorded with King Anguish, and kissed and made friends for ever. And then Sir Blamore and Sir Tristram kissed each other, and there they made their oaths that they would never each of those two brethren fight with Sir Tristram, and Sir Tristram made that same oath. And for that gentle battle all the blood of Sir Lancelot loved Sir Tristram for ever, and King Anguish and Sir Tristram both took their leave, and sailed together for Ireland with great nobleness and joy. And when they were in Ireland, the king let make it known throughout all the land how and in what manner Sir Tristram had saved him. Then the queen and all there that were made the most of him that they might. But it was the joy of the Lady Isolde who made of Tristram that might no tongue tell, for of all men on earth she loved him most. Halfway through tonight's tale, ladies and gents, Sir Tristram perhaps becoming a slightly more chivalrous knight, it has seemed, for having defeated Sir Blamore de Ganny, and even though Sir Blamore de Ganny has entreated with him, begged him to slay him, for he claimed he could not live with the shame of defeat, it has seemed that Sir Tristram has found a way around it. Now Sir Tristram has gone with King Anguish of Ireland to return to Ireland, there where the Lady Isolde is. Lady Isolde, who loves Sir Tristram more than any other knight in the world. Sir Tristram, who loves the Lady Isolde more than any other woman at this moment in time. Let's be honest about Tristram here. He has been known to flick between women at a slight bit of notice, but at the moment he's in love with her quite clearly. Between them, they have returned there. Sir Tristram still has a favour to ask of King Anguish, but behind all of this, let's not forget that Sir Tristram's lord, King Mark, has requested of Sir Tristram to go to Ireland and fetch the Lady Isolde back as the bride of King Mark. And unbeknownst to Tristram, King Mark, jealous of Tristram's skill with women, has hatched plans to have Tristram assassinated whilst in Ireland. Then a day came when the King Anguish asked Sir Tristram why he had not already asked for the boon that had been granted when he promised that he would rescue King Anguish from King Arthur's court. "Sir," said Sir Tristram, "now it is time. This is all that I desire. That you would give me the Lady Isolde, your daughter, not for myself, but for my uncle, King Mark, who would have her as a wife, for this is what I have promised him." "Alas," said the king, "I had liefer than all the land than I would that you should wed her yourself. Sir, if I were to do that, then I would be shamed for ever in this world, and false of my promise to my king. Therefore," said Sir Tristram, "I pray that you hold the promise that you promised me, and that this is my desire, that you give me the Lady Isolde to go with me to Cornwall and be wedded to King Mark, who is my uncle." "As for that," said King Anguish, "you should have her with you to do with her whatever pleases you. That is, for you to say if you want to wed her yourself, for that is what would make me happiest, or if you would give her unto King Mark, your uncle, as is your choice." So, to make short conclusion, the Lady Isolde was made ready to go with Sir Tristram, and the Lady Bragwaine went with her to be her chief gentlewoman amongst many other servants. Then the Queen, Isolde's mother, gave to her and the Lady Bragwaine, her daughter's gentlewoman, and unto Governal, Tristram's squire, a drink. And she charged them that what day King Mark should wed, on that same day they should give him that drink, so that King Mark should drink to the Lady Isolde. And then, said the Queen, I undertake it that either one shall love each other for all the days of their life. So this drink was given unto the Lady Bragwaine and unto Governal, who was Sir Tristram's squire. And anon Sir Tristram took to sea and with the Lady Isolde. And when they were in their cabin, it so happened that they were thirsty, and they saw a little glass of gold stand by them, and it seemed by the colour and the taste that it was a noble wine. Then Sir Tristram took the bottle in his hand and said, Lady Isolde, here is the best drink that ever you have drunk. For Lady Bragwaine, your maiden, and Governal, my servant, seem like they would have kept it for themselves. Then they laughed, and they made good cheer, and either drank to each other freely. And they thought that never drink that ever they drank to each other was so sweet or so good. But by that drink that was in their bodies, they loved each other so well that never was their love departed for neither good or ill. And thus it happened that the love that existed first between Sir Tristram and the Lady Isolde, the love that had never departed them, never would depart from them for all the days of their life. And they sailed till by fortune they came nigh to a castle that was high and tall, and thereby arrived to repose them, believing them to have taken good harbourage. But anon, as Sir Tristram was within that castle, instantly were they taken prisoners. For the custom of the castle was such that those who rode by the castle and brought any lady must have to fight with a lord that was lord of that castle, and that man's name was Brenor. And if it were so that Branor would beat the field, then should the knight be made a stranger and his lady be put to death, no matter whoever they were. And if it were so that the knight that won the field against Sir Branor, then he and his lady should die both. For this custom was used for many winters, for it was called the Castle Pleur, that is to say, the Weeping Castle. There we have it, ladies and gents, an end to tonight's tale. Sir Tristram and the Lady Isolde, having both partaken of not poison, as Sarah perhaps first thought, but the love potion that was brewed up by the Queen, the Lady Isolde's mother, so that the two of them have fallen deeply in love. Oh, that's the end of tonight's tale. Oh yes, Sarah, we have Sir Tristram and the Lady Isolde madly in love and taken captive within the dungeons of the Castle of Weeping, where it seems no possible good outcome could befall. For whether Sir Tristram beats the king of the castle in battle, or whether he loses, death shall befall. Ladies and gents, that is a cracking ending for tonight's tale, I should think. I cannot wait. He says, grinning like a madman, I cannot wait to explore the rest of this tale with you tomorrow as we look and see what happens now that Sir Tristram and the Lady Isolde have fallen madly in love with each other, and now that Sir Tristram is called upon to fight with sword and shield and smite and buffet his way to freedom. And you can't ask for a better tale than that. I cannot wait. Susan, it seems, can't wait either. Sarah, by the sounds of it, can't wait for that kind of tale. And I can't wait to share it with you guys. So please, please, please join me tomorrow. It will be a lot of fun. And mega massive thanks to you guys for making it today. So thank you, Darby, for finally catching us live again. I'm glad that you could slot in. And thank you, Susan. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Julia and Sarah. And big thanks to Tara. Thank you, all of you. It was my pleasure, Julia. I love doing this stuff when you guys are here. I love having that interaction with you and knowing that you guys are enjoying us. I need to spend more time on Twitter, tweeting, Susan. That's what I need to do. I've been lax and quite bad on social media recently. I need to pull my finger out. Unfortunately, I've been really tied up. I've kind of picked up steam working on my novel at the moment. It's going much better than I'd anticipated. So really kind of been sucked into getting a strong first chapter sorted there. So I need to kind of get sorted with that, get that established, and then I can come back to the real world. But we're here at the same well, Susan, this is the issue. I'm here at the same time every night, but as Sarah pointed out last night, the clocks have changed in England, but they haven't changed in the States, which is a bit of a problem. A wee bit. So I've been thinking that I've been doing this at the same time every night, Susan, but I'm aware that for you it's changed. Although when your clocks go back at the weekend, then we'll be back to our regular time. But in the meantime, well said, Susan. I think until we all get caught up again, I need to I think we're more than 4 hours. I think it's now 9:30 in the evening in the UK, and until then, I think I think Susan's quite right. I need to probably do a better job on Twitter of explaining what's happening. Yes, so we're 4 hours ahead then. Yes, we're 4 hours ahead. Yes, because usually when I do this, it's 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But now. Now it's thrown everything into confusion. The date lines have changed. We are literally Time Lords at this point in time. I have travelled a whole hour into the future. But yes, then it will come back to being unsorted. I know, which probably suits my Halloween costume for Friday. As in Friday's show, I'm going to be Doctor Who. So, well, not Doctor Who, because technically it's not the Doctor. Because I'm a Time Lord, Queen. I'm a Time Lord. That's how I do it. All of England are Time Lords. I think we've had a fascination with time machines and Time Lords for a long time. That's going to be my costume for Halloween. I'm looking forward to doing that show with you guys on Friday. But in the meantime, I probably need to do a bit of time policing. Quite right. Thank you for pointing it out, guys. I should advertise it better. But coming up, Periscope is our time machine. In a wonderful, wonderful way. But coming up now in a few minutes' time, and actually I can do this. I need to get myself a drink. I have got a drink. Fortunately, usually I have to run off downstairs to go and get my poetry for the poetry show. I can actually just go over to see the bookcase yonder. So I'm going to pop over now. Pop over. Tonight we are reading some Leonard Cohen on Poetry Live. So I've picked up my Leonard Cohen now. Thank you. I like that bookcase. This room is my book. My book room. La 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 la. Books galore. Over here, which is wonderfully good fun. Anyway, I'm going to pop down this scope now, start at the Poetry Live scope, and then we'll go and do some Leonard Cohen from his Book of Longing. Thank you. I'm glad you liked that, Kathy. I'm glad you folk approve of the bookcase. Right, see you guys in a minute. I know it's the awful falling thing. Tolkien will hold us up though. That's what Tolkien's here for. See you guys in a few seconds, really. Bye bye.